This stuff in Yerushalmi Shabbos. The article owes for addition in the second line on Daf Chav Vav Amud Aleph, Rabbi Chelbo Rabbanim Shem Rav, which in the Vilna is on the 15th line down Chav Aleph Amud Aleph. Rabbi Chelbo Rabbanim Shem Rav Lo Shana Elo Aleha L'Soy Cholo. So the that which it says the Mishnah said that you can do all this stuff with the Kira Shisikua. It's only on Rikavshu Bava, so it's only on top of it, not inside it. Now, the obvious vagary in that, if that's the right term, is that what are we talking about? Shia or Chazara? And obviously, this is a big machlekes. Is Shia only on top, or is even Shia only on top, or it's only Chazara only on top, but Shia can even be inside? The Yerushalmi is cryptic. It's not clear, not well defined. So ad Eichon, how far? It's also cryptic. Ulamar ad shalosh. So the up to 3. What does it mean? So Pnei Moshe says it can be a third down from the top of the kira. Now low in the dot. Again, we're talking about Chazor Shia, whichever one it is. According to the Carbon Ada, it can be up to 3 tvachim in a karka, but not below 3 tvachim when the not be within 3 tvachim of the karka. And in a similar way, they're going to have an argument in the next line. All right, ad mokum shos achritz. The the Carbon Ada says. Well, let's see first. Moshe said first. Moshe said that. Moshe says. Some sort of nook which they make on top of the kira. That's about up to a third down. That's fine, not below that. According to the Carbon Ada, you can make a slight indentation in the ashes at the bottom of the kira, but not within 3 tvachim of the ground. So, evident, why are you allowed to put only up to that place? Now, Yad, obviously, Yad Soletas is the Bavli, and Yad Sholetas of the Yerushalmi do not seem the same thing, even though there are some fortune we want to equate them. You can only put it to a place, a Yad better back place, a Yad Sholetas, where the hand can be governed there, right? Whether the hand can reign there, literally. But in other words, a place where the hand can be maintained. It could be higher than the Yatzoletis bow, because the Yatzoletis bow perhaps jumps up, but you can maybe put it back and hold it there for a while. So it's not necessarily saying it's not the same thing as Yad Soletis bow of the Bavli, but you can put it back to the place of Yad Soletis bow where you could tolerate for some time the hand being there. B'sai kaidem Rabbi Yizir v'Shem Yehuda mutlav shir b'makom sholetes. You're allowed to make water liquid lukewarm in a place where yad sholetes. V'asav shir b'makom she'eni yad sholetes, but not a place where the yad is not sholetes, where you can sustain your hand. Rabbi Yeshua bar Gizura having shamish k'vizira v'ama'ayel kumi tavshlin roschin. So he evidently Rabbi Yeshua bar Gizura was shamish from Rabbi Zira on Shabbos, and he brought him hot dishes. Amalei, so Rabbi Zira said to him, "Hey, Chisabi, how'd you get these hot dishes on Shabbos?" Amalei, grof tufya v'gava. So I removed ashes from the oven, and I put a plate of tafia as a place of shvisa where I could put down the pot, and I put it in the pot there from Erev Shabbos. Amalei say, "Lo tiva kain," said, "Don't do it that way. It's not good enough." Ela grof tufia. Make a play, clear a spot. You have tilsa keeping, and then put there 3 the three bundles of uh, moist, Corbin says moist branches of cedar wood, and put them on them. So now the uh, that's one shot in the Korban Eda, and the other shot in Korban Eda is that you should put uh, ashes on them, not that these keeping our piles of ashes. Now the Korban Eda, it's according to that shot in the Korban Eda, it's a kula that you allow them to leave uh, hot ashes in a pile, and it seems that it was in a container on in the oven, and you didn't have to completely eliminate all the ashes. It's the according to the same Moshe and the other Pshat carbonator, it's a chumrah. Then you have to put it on. Uh, uh, you have to put some barrier between the Pnei Moshe. It's a slightly different shot, but the point is the same. You have to put some barrier between the the floor of the oven and the the pot which you put on top of it. So again, it's either a barrier which cools it down, or it's a pile of ashes keeps it hotter. So it's telling him either you can be more mako or more machmir, depending on which shot in the Yerushalmi we go with, which is of course the Yerushalmi that we have totally diametrically opposite pshatim in the Gemara. Rabbi Avo, Rory Botra, Paskin Botra, Memali Notzro, which needs to be a basket of some sort. Ramach, which the Korban says is ashes. Mitin Tlasa Keeping, and put three stones, umimale, and put them on top. So that seems to be elaboration again, whichever we learn it of the shita of Rabbi Zira. Brady Rav Katina. B'Shem Rabbi Yah said, Shizri Chazor Charios. It says, Shedro Shel Novin Shel Dekel. This is some spines of branches of a palm tree. They are uh, Kigevis Eitzim, like our Mishnah, and you should not put anything in the oven until you remove them or until you bank them with ashes. That's when they were moist and they dried up. They dried up, as the Moshe says, on the tree itself. Then kikash ugvavain. Then they're like kash ugvava, and that you don't have to actually remove them. They're like the straw in the Mishnah, the grass. You don't have to actually remove them before you leave the pot there over Shabbos. Gloli behema. What about animal dung? East tiny tiny gevitz eitzim. Some say it's like the gevitz eitzim, which are the olive. Should have said it before, like the olive refuse and the wood, where you have to it has to be carved cotton. These tiny tiny kashkovava, and some say it's like kashkovava, like the straw on the grass. Manar gevitz eitzim, and it's not a contradiction. He who says it's gevitz eitzim, like olive refuse and wood, bedaka, the that's sheep dung. Evidently, that gets hotter. Manar kashkovava gasa by cow dung, which gets doesn't get as warm. The Yerushalmi Kibshuta brings that seems the Kobo had the opposite girsa, that cow dung is warmer, and perhaps that the Rambam also had the opposite girsa, that sheep dung is not as warm and cow dung is warmer. Yeah, Gorev Achigov Kol Circle. Gorev is until when you remove the ash, you gotta move all that's necessary. What does that mean? Mandatani Gorev Tzarech Chatar Biyad. That it says you have to shove it, you have to dig down with your hand and only to move the fuel. That must be the definition, that you actually don't just have to dig down in your hand in the pile and move it that way. It's interesting that Yerushalmi brings down the Rishonim say not to be mechatek, but to be meta'et, to brush away with the hand. But Yerushalmi is not sure that the word meta'et ever appears elsewhere in the Yerushalmi. but that would mean, I guess, perhaps a kula. You just brush away. You have to dig down with your hand. Presumably, if you're digging down, chate biyad means a shovel of some sort because it's hot. And I hope you're not using your hand. Um, okay, but kotem, achitun kot circle. Kotem, if you're banking the fire, you also have to do kotem, or it's necessary. Min mad the tiny labo love or pishton. So the Gemara says, "Whoa," since it says that uh, the you can be milabel the you can burn on the ashes which are in on the ashes on the coal in the fire, so on the coals in the oven. The Rabbi says, Hadak shall piston some flock from linen, Achu boer v'nasa efer until it ignites and becomes ashes. Hadamar meaning the Karmeida, Zosmas feel low custom soko. Shein Ors Mechasa Kol Gecholim, but Eish Nikadain. It's not a full cook, full thick covering, because otherwise the linen would not ignite. So if you hachishari, so shmamina ain't tzarich liton kol kach shlein aish nikar. It says that's you don't have to cover so much that the fire is not nikar at all. It's a hecker. It's a no, not to be mechata. Right? At the time, labad norshel kibishon. Then I feel lokotam kol tzarko. Vaida amrada, and this where was the statement made about norshel pishton? Yom tov shchalios erev Shabbos. The Kormei says osli growth after shvui gumas. Yontif, which comes Erev Shabbos, you're not allowed uh, um, the, to remove the ashes because you might come then to smooth the floor of the oven. So therefore, at that time, you have to. They said specifically this parameter of that you put down that you bank the ashes with this layer of linen, a flock from the linen. Okay, the next one, Gemara, they probably have to be adjusted somewhat, but we're going to go with him, try and barge through it, so to speak. So, Kidma is Slabta Mao. Now, really, the question is, okay, is this Chatchila B'di'evet? In other words, if you put in Pishtan and ignited, is it Chatchila still considered a proper covering? Or B'di'evet, if that happened after you covered it, you don't have to go back and cover, have it after you put down the Norishal Pishton, you have to go back and do it again. Rabbi Chia Rabba, all the base of Hore Mutter. Said it's mutter, it's fine. This is a fine way of covering the fire. He went to his house and he passed this way. Lamaisa. So they asked this question from Rabbi Zir, Rabbi Yosha, China, the Chavrein Rabbanan. Liba, it's a liba. L'shavar, is it perhaps it's only b'di'evet, not like Rabbi Chia Ruba, right? So of a Rabbi Ami. So Rabbi Ami passed by, and I guess they were afraid that he heard the question and get upset. The Idrul Chavraya, and the Chavraya ran away before they got an answer, before they were coming to a conclusion. A bone mechzar aleim. So they want to come back after he passed after he went by, and resolve the question and reopen the question. So said, "Mean the have uvda have the uvda." You know what? It was already Yitzhak Heter from Rabbi Chia Ruba, and we were and we ran away from Rabbi Ami because we were afraid, I guess, to discuss a question in front of him. So that's it. It finished. Once it's mutter, even lechatchila like Rabbi Chia Paskin. Rabbi Shmuel Bar Sutzi. Rabbi Shmuel Bar Sutzi says, it says here lachain, but the the Mashbiach changed it to lenon, right? Which he says is like lanu tzricha liba. The I think it means the question liba. I have to look at the Mashbiach here. So the Mashbiach explains. He says, "You're right. It was Yotzer Heter, and we can't be machmir on the tzibur. right? But the question is for us personally. We have this question: what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to be making for ourselves and not be making for ourselves? Lanon for us, tzricha liba. Now, at some point when I learned this sugya, I made the connection to the Bavli and Daf Lamed Zayin, where it asked about the Slapta B'Shabbos. And it could be that also the Yerushalmi here is asking about not the Slapta B'Bard Yoim, but the Slapta on Shabbos, where they go back after if the ashes took fire on Shabbos, and then uh, after you had used them for banking, and now you want to put it back after they took fire. So it's not clear if it's about now before Shabbos or after Shabbos begins. But in any event, Rabbi Mona, Anakush Kum Rabbi Bob Reda Papa, Intem Shavar. You want to say it's b'diavad. It's not a chatchila this way. Afilu, and here the one of the kisvei yad, I think Leiden manuscript doesn't have the, which is of course the main manuscript of Yerushalmi, doesn't have the word lo. Afilu bishla b'tchila, even though you cooked it to begin with. It's in other words, you already had put something there, and you cooked on, and you cooked on it, meaning not really you cooked on it, but in other words, you put it there from you put the pot there, and the reason why it says bishla I brought in Psych Mars because I will tell you about perhaps the Kedera Chaisa, where it was you're allowed to put it right before Shabbos. So even you put the Kedera Chaisa there to begin with, you're going to say it's only b'diavad, okay. So even though you're allowed to leave a Kedera Chaisa and guard for Kotum, but if it ignited again, so before Shabbos, then you'd have to take it off, do it again, and then put it back down again. Okay, the Tani and uh, it was an interesting connection here. Meiser, the uh, Meiser from a Vashel. B'Shabbos, somebody takes a meiser or cooks on Shabbos. B'Shogeg yochal. Unintentionally, you can eat it. B'Mezid lo yochal. The intentionality, the divrei meir. Rabbi Yehuda Meir b'Shogeg yochal motzei Shabbos. He did unintentionally eat it motzei Shabbos. Mezid lo yochal. If he did intentionally, can't even eat it motzei Shabbos. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Shoyu yochal motzei Shabbos lachem lo. Very famous machlekes. Shoyu eat motzei Shabbos. Others, not him. Mazid lo lachem. He did it mazid. You can't eat it neither for him nor for anybody else. Seems like very that Rabbi Bob Rabbi Puppy is saying that even if you put down the Kedera free for Shabbos, since it wasn't properly guarded for Kotum, so all these penalties should apply to you. It's a very difficult thing to say because you're not mavashal b'yadayim on Shabbos like these cases. So I was going to say that he also has the gears feel bishla b'tchila, but he's saying bishla b'tchila means on Shabbos itself. If it's caught them in such a way, it's going to be mutter because it's not real derech bishul. It's very difficult to say that that's the case here, and but would make sense to say okay now we're being this whole thing to say you shouldn't but lakula. In other words, everybody agreed. In this case, it's not real bishul, so therefore we could it would be okay. Even if you put it on this in the oven on Shabbos, on the oven Shabbos, as long as it was cotton, and even the slapta. Very difficult. Oh, Louis de Mistafina, I would say that it should not say Titani here. It's very difficult, no matter what, to see a continuity between the previous sugya and this sugya. Rather, it's Tani. It's a new sugya. Tani, Hamayasem Rabasha b'Shabbos. We're in the Brisa b'Shay Yochal Meizel Loyachal. Do my mayor. Yuda Mer Shay Yochal Shay Shabbos. Yochal Yochal Stam Lamar b'Shay Yom Shay Shabbos Chaim Lo Meizel Lo V'Lachir. And it goes on. Shmuel Rabbi Yochasan, Shmuel Paskar Yochasan, Rav Kav Amari b'Chabrusei. Rav, when he paskin in a small own chabura, he paskin like Rabbi Lukula, like Kav Amar Rabbi Meir. Tzibura, but he has a lachla in Morike. Don't pass him in Tzibur. Tzibur have a Morik Rabbi Yochanan Sandler. So I think it's bullshit that really the emissary is supposed to be Tani and not Ditani. There must be somebody who changes it. Who? I don't know. Amar Shimar Karsana, Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi Darshan. The Rav used to pass in public Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi. Tani Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi Amar Mishum Avi. Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi said the name is Far Rabbi Yossi. Kozra Chavinas don't occur she goes to chatas anytime you did the raisa, something which would be deliberately because did it inadvertently it's a chatas. But so b'shabbos, so you did it Shabbos. Bein mishoy bein amazing. Whether you did it unintentionally or intentionally, also bein lo bein lachem. It's also both for him and for others. Chol davar she'ein chavinas don't occur she goes to chatas so Shabbos. Anytime where it's not a deraisa, where chavinas don't occur she goes to chatas so Shabbos. And then Shabbos, Amlach Drabanan. Shogeg Echol Motzei Shabbos. If it's Shogeg, you can name Motzei Shabbos Lachem Lo. Others, not him. Mazid Lo Lachem. If it's Mazid, not him, not for others. Limb here and say I'm going to go on a limb and say I don't think Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi is brought down in the Bavli. I think it's just in the Tosefta, not in the Bavli. Bon Rabbi Yochanan says Rabbi Yochanan Atma Omar. How do you paskin? Omar Lon Ani Ainli Ela Mishnah. I don't like to follow Mishnah Chumas. Hamaisa Mavasha B'Shabbos Shagi Ochal Mezel Ochal. If he did it in like Ray Meir, if he did it like Shogeg, you should can eat it. Yom Shabbos Mezi, you should not eat it. Shama Rav Chisda Umar, Huchu Shabbosais. Shabbos came mutter all of a sudden. In other words, they're very lenient. Rav Chuna B'Shem Rav, this is already, let's leave it for tomorrow because it's already on the next number.